welcome to BizTechSuktas. I'm host Sandeep Suryavanshi, and I'm also the CEO of EdExpert Advisory. In this podcast, we bring to you some very interesting case studies and stories about technology-led business transformation. We talk to experts who have managed large transformation projects. We talk to companies who made big bets and who have successfully innovated in their business models using digital technologies. Hope that we have some great conversations and definitely lots of learning from our experts and our guests that come on the show. And today we have my dear friend and a great well-known manufacturing CIO, Rajeev Khade, who has extensively delivered business results in the area of Industry 4.0, transforming global manufacturing operations using technologies like MES, IoT, AI, low-cost automation, all these kind of things. So Rajeev has been a global CIO for companies like Johnson Controls, Adient, Sigma Electric very recently. And it's been a career spanning almost 30 years. I guess, Rajeev, 30 or more than 30 years?
More than 30 years.
More than 30 years now, yeah. And he also, by the way, mentors startups under the CII mentorship program. And this is his second year that he's been selected as an esteemed mentor. And I'm pretty sure he gives great direction to the CII startups. So Rajeev, welcome on the show. And it's a real pleasure having you here talking to our audience. And we really would like to learn a lot more about Industry 4.0. Everybody hears about Industry 4.0, but from a doer, from a person who's been on the driving chair, I would like to hear some great stories from you.
Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you for inviting me on this topic and today's podcast. And it is a very interesting topic for me. And I can call it as a topic near to my heart because I have worked on very extensive projects in my previous organization. So it is going to be a very interesting discussion today.
I'm sure. Absolutely. So getting started, Rajeev, I don't think Industry 4.0 is a new terminology to most people who are CIOs or even CEOs. But, it means different things for different, even within manufacturing, it means different things for each company. There are, people who could look at, cost reduction as a goal for Industry 4.0. It could, be a quality of improving quality by 100% QA. It could be building better products, better services within manufacturing. All these kind of things could be the goals. But over the years, when you've worked in multiple large global organizations, what's been your experience? Where are the low-hanging fruits and what are the most prominent and business benefits that Industry 4.0 delivers?
Yeah, good question, Sandeep. And as you know, as you rightly said, Industry 4.0 is no more a buzzword, and it is a practice that is each and every organization is following up in the recent past, especially in the recent past because we witnessed a very unprecedented time of pandemic. So during that time, each and every organization wanted to speed up their manufacturing process and achieve process excellence. And at the same time, without compromising on quality and other aspects also. So I can say that Industry 4.0 projects come a long way to this organizational requirements based on the business requirements, I can say, and based on the business objectives. To answer your specific question about the low-hanging fruits, I can say that Industry 4.0 is a very, very vast topic according to me. And it all depends as to how the organization views at it and what is that organization wants to achieve of it. It's no more the kind of scenario wherein since the next neighbor has implemented Industry 4.0, digitalization, blah, blah, everything, I should also implement. No, it has to be a quite well-known, well-thought process and a roadmap built in. And also the management backing for that. Then only this kind of projects succeed. About the low-hanging fruits, I can say that there can be many low-hanging fruits which can be easily picked up by the organizations by way of implementation of Industry 4.0 projects. It can be anything between calculating the OE of the machines on the shop floor, arriving at the kind of preventive maintenance scenarios of the machines, thereby deciding on the production schedules of the machines and accordingly plan for production. So there can be n number of low-hanging fruits according to me. Only thing is that you have to have a clear-cut vision on this, and also your thought process should be wide open enough as to what are things we want to achieve out of those low-hanging fruits, out of those long projects, small sum projects. So I believe that baby step in this direction would help to achieve a great milestone in this Industry 4.0 transformational journey. So that's my initial thoughts on the topic.
Right. So basically what you're saying is that it's customized, the meaning of Industry 4.0 is customized for each company, and we should start with a roadmap and probably a smaller roadmap initially to really achieve some business benefits right away rather than trying to boil the ocean, right?
Yeah, correct.
So there is also, we've heard topics about, maturity of the Industry 4.0 implementation. So I think there are maturity models that are also being talked about. So what do you think, can a company assess how mature they are from an Industry 4.0 perspective and how far they have to go? I mean, that would be one of the ways to decide the roadmap as well, that, are we really far back in the journey, or are we midway there in some of those areas, and how aggressively should we pursue Industry 4.0? So can you talk a little bit about Industry 4.0 assessment, maturity assessment models?
Yeah, that's very important topic according to me, because nowadays every organization, whether it's a small organization, MSME, or a large organization, right, they almost have done certain initial steps in this direction. They have started implementing these small projects, but it all depends as to what is that they want to achieve. As I rightly said, you rightly pointed out about their roadmap. As to doing the next, say, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. What is that they want to achieve and why they want to achieve it? So it all depends as to what is the strategic direction that they want to achieve. So based on that, they can decide as to, they can arrive, they can judge as to where they are today. So that is where the assessment model comes into picture. So to assess themselves, to assess their preparedness in this direction, there can be certain assessment models wherein based on their particular environment, based on their business models, their standing, their product, their customers, all these points matter a lot. They can assess themselves as to what is their preparedness. So there are various organizations who help them to arrive at an assessment matrix, I can say that. Based on their assessment matrix, they can decide as to how is that they want to proceed in this direction. What is that they should have in place? What is that the IT infrastructure or the IT environment they need to have in place? What are the process capabilities they should have? What are their existing processes? What is the modification that they should do in the existing process? Is there any reduction in the number of steps that will be required? And what is the benefit that they're going to achieve? So all these points matter a lot. So for this, arriving at a proper roadmap and the way forward, they should always go in for an assessment matrix and judge themselves as to what is their preparedness. This will help them to fine-tune, adjust, and accordingly get ready for the next step in the Industry 4.0 journey.
Great. So I guess what you're saying is that before a comprehensive roadmap, assessing where we stand, there are organizations today that can help to do that assessment for a company and give a report which would help them drive towards creating a roadmap to get started on. Right.
Yeah, in this assessment, Sandeep, there can be 2 steps.
Okay.
If there are a willingness to go in for the assessment, then there will be certain kind of initial, just a prima facie questions about to know what is their journey in the Industry 4.0 projects. When they're ready, then the light from the yellow to green will go. So then after that, there will be a detailed analysis as to what are the machines, what kind of connectors, what are the PLCs, what is their IT environment, what is the security in the IT environment.
Right, absolutely.
That detailed analysis will be there, and a detailed report can be presented to the management saying that this is where you stand and this is what needs to be changed in the environment so that you will have a good IT Industry 4.0 projects roadmap.
Great, excellent. And as you mentioned security, I wanted to really ask you about the challenges that happen. I mean, obviously, as you increase more computerization, increase more digitalization across the value chain within an organization, there are going to be security challenges and other challenges that are going to be there in these large. Again, Industry 4.0 is a large-scale program generally. So where do you see are the challenges that come in during these implementations? There can be, I mean, I guess there could be, you could take a piecemeal approach, you could take a platform implementation approach, you could create, there could be issues in data integration, fetching the data. In fact, collecting data itself could be an issue. What issues do you see in implementation projects of Industry 4.0 that you've seen which derail projects?
Yes, again, a very good question, Sandeep. And I feel that the company should understand the IT roadmap, the Industry 4.0 project roadmap, what is they want to achieve. And based on that, plot the various projects into various categories. Say whether it is immediately required, whether it is critical, whether it is important, or whether it is not important, just like the time metrics that we put in about our priorities. So accordingly, prioritize the various projects and take up the most critical or the most important projects first, rather than going in a very big way approach and changing the entire environment in the shop floor, the IT environment and everything. So based on the criticalness, importance of the various projects, accordingly, they can go in for a step-by-step changes in the environment. That is first thing. Second thing is about the challenges. There can be several challenges according to me. The most important challenge is about capturing the data from the shop floor.
Right.
So the shop floor machines, we do not change overnight. So whenever the shop floor machines are brought in and they're configured and are into production, then these machines, we use it for a longer time. So most of the machines, according to me, in the brownfield projects are the old machines.
Right.
What I mean by old machines in the sense almost 10 plus years or so. So 10 plus years or so machines may not be having the capability of capturing, pulling the data from the shop floor machine to our IT systems. So in that case, here is the challenge wherein how to fetch the data from the shop floor machine. The data can be different, whether it is the RPM of the machine, whether it is the electrical connections of the machine, whether it is the heat of the machine, or anything it can be.
Right.
So this is another challenge as to how do we capture, and there can be various flavors of machines or their connectors or their data capturing points. All the machines will not have the same category, same brand of connectors or the PLCs for that matter. So here is the challenge as to how do we standardize between the various connectors, sensors, PLCs. So that is another challenge. But nowadays, these challenges can be overcome and the data in the can be pulled to the IT systems. This is another challenge. Third challenge, according to me, is about the security. Since I have spent almost 30 plus years in the IT fraternity, I can tell you that the IT environment and OT environment were not the separate as we can see it today.
Right.
Before 10, 15 years, it was the entire IT environment was the same, whether it is a packet flow from an office computer, laptop, or whether it's a packet flow from the shop floor machine. All used to hit the same switch in the data center. Yeah. So that is where the collision and the packet flow bombardment happens. So we need to categorize separately the office environment and the OT environment. If we are able to do that, then there will be proper flow of packets from the shop floor machines, equipments, and from the IT or the office environment. So this is where the categorization is required. Challenge here is how do you separate it? Challenge here is how do we take care of the security measures If at all a breach happens, then the attacker can directly land onto the office environment. That is normal, that we know it. If at all a breach happens, then the attacker can directly land onto the shop floor machine. So how do you stop it? How do you categorize it? How do you separate it? So there can be various measures by which the IT and OT environment can be segregated, and a built-in redundancy, built-in separation, demarcation can be built, so that attacker, even if he tries to hack a shop floor critical machine, is not able to do it. Right. And if at all any attack happens, it is restricted only to that particular equipment or to that particular IT machine. So right. Security is another challenge, according to me, and that needs to be done. Nowadays, many organizations, and even in my previous organization, we have implemented this, by which we the IT and the OT environment is separated. It is hardened and taken care from the external attacks. So this is one more challenge that is likely to be faced in implementation of Industry 4.0 projects.
Right. Great. So as we get onto the journey of this, I think the future holds a lot of promise. I mean, in terms of what can be done to the data, what kind of processing can be done with the data that is being collected from the machines, integrating that with the ERP softwares, integrating that with maybe even external sources of data like Hoovers, etc. Doing AI analytics, predictive failure, all these kind of things are really very, very exciting and very, very critical business capabilities that companies need to be able to at least plan for, if not be able to do them right away. So yes. What are those things that you feel are the major areas where companies should start building capabilities to make sure that their products and services are future-proof, delivering value out of Industry 4.0?
Yeah, good. See, before 15-20 years, an ERP implementation was considered as one of the biggest projects in the industry. Yeah. And taken that ERP implementation was a great achievement. And having successfully implemented ERP was again a great achievement. But that is not the end of the story. Right. ERP implementation, according to me, is the beginning or the stepping stone for industrialization, digitalization, automation, and everything. Right. So whatever data is getting generated, it is in, I can call it as in a raw format. And a lot of data is getting generated. It all depends as to how we as IT folks look at this particular data and how we make the best use of this data. Whether it is the data from an ERP that is generated, or whether the data that is generated from a shop floor machine. So how do we put it to a best usage? Say, for example, we have implemented ERP, whether it is in the in-premises ERP or whether we have implemented it on the cloud. Now, that is, as I said, the stepping stone. How do you use that data? How do you make the best use of that data? How do you pinpoint the data for your effective usage? How do we segregate the data from the usable data and the non-usable data for the moment? And how do you operate on that particular data? What I mean by operate on that data is, how do you make best use of the data? Slice it, dice it, and implement various technologies from the BI angle, and then make the meaningful results out of that. And help the decision makers of the operational people to arrive at certain conclusions. Say, for example, I just quoted some time back about the OE of the machine. Right. So OE of the machine gives certain kind of dashboard view of the particular machine or the machines on the shop floor. Right. So that helps the operation people to arrive at certain conclusions as to how my machine is behaving. What is my machine's performance? What is its up till now performance? How much more performance I can give it? What is the percentage performance, best performance that I'm trying to get from the machine? Whether I should take a scheduled downtime of the machine. It all helps a lot for the operation people. Similarly, the data that is generated from an ERP system, for example, or for that matter, MES or whether any other system, that data will help the decision makers and also the senior management to arrive at certain conclusions. What is my shop floor inventory? what is my inventory, the in-transit inventory,
Right.
what is my sales, what is my store's value, how much is the quantity. All those helps a lot to get an effective or the intelligent view of my data. So it all helps a lot. Just by implementing ERP, it's not the end. We have to make best use of the data generated from the ERP,
Right.
and give a dashboard view or analytical view or the intelligent view, for that matter, I can say, and accordingly plan for the future. So the data, according to me, whatever is generated has a lot of potential in it, a lot of potential to give an insightful view to organizations. So it all depends as to how you look at the data, what is that you want to achieve out of that data, what is the analytical capability that we should build in around this ERP system, how you should slice and dice that data, and how effectively you can make use out of it. So those are my views at a kind of 34,000 feet level,
Right.
as to how do you view at the data that is generated.
Great. Thank you so much, Rajeev. So Rajeev, it's been a great discussion with you. We really understand that the journey for digitalization for Industry 4.0 is going to be a customized one, and there is definitely room to start with an assessment and a roadmap creation in a stepwise manner, rather than trying to boil the ocean. There are going to be multiple challenges, especially from a security perspective and implementation perspective as well.
Yes.
But there are ways around that, and there is a possibility to really re-envision what your product is or what your service is, using the data that's coming from the actual shop floor, and be able to make sure that you are able to beat the competition by building newer products much faster, because you know what is exactly coming, what is the shop floor information that is telling you about your utilization of machines, your kind of usage of the equipment, and all of these things. So Rajeev, thank you so much for your time, and it was really a pleasure talking to you.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to hearing questions from our audience as well, and we'll definitely pass it on to you if you come back and say that they want an assessment. You're the man to talk to.
Yes.
Yeah. Appreciate your time, Rajeev. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sandeep, for giving me an opportunity to speak on this topic. And I really enjoyed the time and the questions that you asked me. Thank you so much. And I will be willing to take offline the questions that might come up, and we are ready and happy to help the people on this topic. Thank you so much, Sandeep.
Thank you. All right. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.